exactly what you want to see. Let's run this puppy in. Score a touchdown and tie this game. Life, run for your life, touchdown on one play. Worked on this in practice. Touchdown. It's up to Kelvin Benjamin. This is all you, buddy. Kelvin Benjamin for a touchdown. Oh, he toasted his man. Holmes toasted his man. Spin move. Oh! Oh! What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here in the World of Juice channel, and welcome back to another episode of the Atlanta Falcons Retro Rebuild here on Madden 22 on the PC. That is right. We return with the beginning of another season, and if I'm not mistaken, this is season number 5 that we've done. Is this season number 5? Are we entering the 2007 season? I'm pretty sure, because if we take a look at the scout players, this is the 2007 draft class. Okay, so we're entering 2006, 2007 is the year that we're in right now. Because as you can see, we have Joe Thomas, Calvin Johnson Jr. Those guys were in the 2007 draft class. So that's I'm not sure how many seasons we've done so far at this point. I can't remember as of recording this, but that's the year that we're in. We're in kind of the fall of 2006, and as the season progresses, we'll be in 2007. So that's kind of the time frame that you guys can understand that we're in. If we take a look at the lineup, I do want to mention something very, very important here at the start of the video. As you can see, we have Michael Vick, but if you guys remember from the last episode from the offseason, we had to negotiate a contract with Michael Vick, but unfortunately he declined what we offered him. So we had to franchise tag him. So we have 1 year and about $30+ million tag on him for this one season. And what I'm thinking is that we play the whole season with Michael Vick, and then in a couple of episodes time during the off-season video, before we get to the actual off-season part, we will trade Michael Vick. I know that hurts some people being hardcore Atlanta Falcons fans, and it hurts me too because I've been having a blast playing with Michael Vick on this series, just running around when we get into games and stuff. That's been so much fun, but he's just gonna cost us too much money. We are not gonna have enough money to pay him his massive extension that he wants, and also be able to pay for other players that may come up for contract or free agents or whatever. So it's just not feasible for us to be able to pay for Michael Vick and then do everything else. So we are going to move on from Michael Vick at the end of the season. But good news is we have Aaron Rodgers. Now, Aaron Rodgers is a low overall. He's only 77 overall, but he does have that superstar X factor. He is still on his rookie deal, so we still have a couple of seasons without paying him. If we go and we take a look, this is his second season in the league. So if we go to his contract, we still have 2 more years of control on his rookie deal before he actually gets paid. So we will have 2 years of basically, I don't want to say free, but cheap quarterback labor with Aaron Rodgers at the helm. And then that'll give us a little bit of cap space to be able to get wide receivers, because as of right now, we have 3 wide receivers on the roster: Wes Welker, Malcolm Floyd, and this Stovall guy. Those are the 3 wide receivers that we have on the roster. Obviously, we focused very heavily on offensive line in the draft, picking up Andrew Whitworth, Nick Mangold, and Jahari Evans, and Donald Penn, all in this year's draft, this past draft. So our offensive line is set for the future. I mean, we already had Jordan Gross and we had Evan Mathis. I did trade Todd Weiner, even though he has a legendary name. I did trade him. We kept Robert Gallery, but I might trade Robert Gallery along with Michael Vick in the offseason because he's just making a lot of money. He is making very, very, very copious amounts of money. If we go to his contract, he's making a total of about 6.2, which is in the grand scheme of things not a whole lot, but I mean that is a lot if we think about the kind of cap space that we have, and we don't really have a whole lot. Now if you take a look underneath in the top right underneath my coach's name, The roster size says 46 out of 53. That's because we barely have any players on this roster. It is actually kind of shocking how little amount of players we have on this roster. We have 3 wide receivers, like I mentioned. So it's going to be a rough season. I don't know if we're going to make the playoffs. I'm going to be conservative and say we're going to get to 7 wins because that's what kind of our benchmark has been for the past couple of seasons. So I'm going to say we get to about 7 wins again. I think even with the little amount of wide receivers that we have, the little amount of depth that we have there, and the overall just lack of development that we have so far, because we have a bunch of the weird thing about this team is we have so many good development trait players. It's just they're so young that they've got to develop, so they're still such a low overall, even though they have such good, like Rodgers is 77 but he's got an X factor, Witten's is 72 but he's got X factor, Jordan Gross is 75 but he's got superstar. I mean, so we've got a lot of potential. We just got to get there with the development traits. Obviously, we took Mario Williams with the number 1 overall pick in last year's draft. We also took Johnny Jolly, who surprisingly to me had superstar, or not superstar. Well, he might have, I don't know. But he had hidden development. I wasn't expecting him to have hidden development. We still have Brian Dawkins. We still have some decent corner depth. We still have our really good linebacker depth. Sean Taylor's still here. We still have Tramon Williams, who we drafted in the draft. Justin Tuck is now on the left side with Mario Williams on the right. I don't know how good this team is going to be. Like I said, with the season goal, our benchmark has been 7 wins. Can we get to 7 wins? I don't know. We probably are going to jump into this week 1 game against the Vikings. But I want to show you one more thing before we do that. We have draft picks, if I'm not mistaken. We have a lot of draft picks. Yes, we do. So as of week 1, these are going to change, obviously, because teams are going to win, teams are going to lose, so things are going to go up and down. But as of week 1, we have the 2nd pick, the 7th pick, the 14th pick, the 17th pick, the 20th pick in the 1st round, plus 2 second-round picks, 3 third-round picks, 2 6th, and a 7. Yeah, we've got the assets to be able to draft Calvin Johnson in this year's draft. I'm hoping one of those picks stays in the top 10, top 5 range, because I really need Calvin Johnson. Now, I know in previous years when doing this retro rebuild and the Calvin Johnson draft class has come up, I've said I need Calvin Johnson. That's just because I really, really want Megatron on the team. And I got him in the Cleveland series, but I don't think I got him in the Miami series. But this year, in this franchise, in this series, I absolutely desperately need Calvin Johnson because we have no wide receiver depth at all. Our wide receivers are non-existent. So we need to have a stud wide receiver like Calvin Johnson. So that's our goal. Our number 1 goal in this draft is to get Calvin Johnson. Anybody else is just like icing on top of the cake. Calvin Johnson is the main course. But speaking of Calvin Johnson, we can take a quick look at the rest of his draft class if you really want to. The quarterback class is not really that great in this year's draft class. We got Jamarcus Russell, Brady Quinn, Kevin Cobb, John Beck, Drew Stanton. A lot of busts. As you guys might remember from this class in real life. A lot of busts. Nobody here in the league anymore. Matt Moore was in the league for until like a couple seasons ago, I think, maybe, and then retired. There's Zach Taylor. I mean, we've got an NFL head coach in this draft class. That's pretty funny. But this class is not that good in terms of quarterbacks. Running backs, it's got some Hall of Famers. Adrian Peterson, Marshawn Lynch, and we are kind of in need of a running back. I mean, we have Sean Alexander, but I think I might move on from his contract. I know that it probably wasn't the smartest move to draft him or to sign him in free agency in the first place, especially now that he's starting to decline in overall and stuff. So we might need to move on from him along with Michael Vick and Robert Gallery in the offseason. So this could be a very, very interesting offseason in terms of moves that we make. But we've also got Marshawn Lynch and Adrian Peterson here. So there's some good running backs. Brandon Jackson, also a decent running back. Chris Henry, decent running back. Michael Bush, Antonio Pittman, that's a good value for the 3rd or 4th round. Ahmad Bradshaw and Pierre Thomas. And as you can see, I've already gone through and favorited my, I guess you can say, targets or my quote-unquote draft board of guys from each position that I think we might go after, or at least potentially I might take a shot at. Fullback, you've basically got just Brian Leonard. There's really nobody else here. And then we get to the big one. Wide receiver Calvin Johnson Jr., Megatron, 6'5", 239, top 5 pick. Probably going to be the number 1 overall pick. Hopefully we have the number 1 overall pick. He's hopefully going to be an Atlanta Falcon next season. I don't know. I'm going to try literally everything in my power to get him. So hopefully we do. Then you got Ted Ginn Jr., you got Dwayne Bowe, you got Robert Meacham, you've got Anthony Gonzalez, Sidney Rice would be a nice addition to this roster as well. Steve Smith would be good. Jacoby Jones. There's some decent wide receivers down here just to fill out depth, I guess you could say. Along with James Jones. I think there's one more, Steve Breston, down here. And then you got, there might be another one down here. I don't actually know. I think Steve Breston was the last one that I put on the board. Eric Weems, I guess, if you want to count that as a possible depth guy. And now tight end, you got Greg Olsen and Zach Miller, but we already have Jason Witten and Antonio Gates, so we don't necessarily need a tight end. If Greg Olsen's there and there's not another position that we absolutely desperately need, then sure, I'll take Greg Olsen or Zach Miller, but as of right now, tight end's not a position that we need to go after. But you've also got like Matt Spaeth, Scott Chandler, Dante Rosario, Brent Selleck. I have Brent Selleck down on the board because he's a day 3 option, so that would be good just to have as a third string tight end, and maybe he turns out to be something. We know that Brent Selleck was really good in real life, so maybe he develops into something here in this series. Other than that, there's nobody there in tight end. Left tackle, obviously got the big one, Joe Thomas, Hall of Famer, or future Hall of Famer. Doug Free, Jerome Bouchard. Not really a whole lot else at left tackle. Left guard, Justin Blaylock. Not really a whole lot at left guard. It's not the greatest offensive line class in 2007. There's a few pieces, but it's not really known for depth. Ryan Khalil and Samson Staley. I never knew how to pronounce his name. I don't think I pronounced it right there. But there's nobody else at center. Then you got Ben Grubbs, about the best one here at right guard. You've also got Aaron Sears, Manny Ramirez, not the baseball player. That's about it for right guard. Right tackle, Levi Brown, Joe Staley, Marshall Yanda, who is classified as a right tackle but played mostly right guard in the league, which is why I have him down here, because we can move him to the right guard spot if we need to. But other than Marshall Yanda, it's not looking good for depth at right tackle. On the defensive side of things, Lamar Woodley and Tim Crowder, I guess. But that's about it for left end. Right end, you got Gaines Adams. Nobody, really. D tackle, which we do need, you got Alan Branch and Brandon Mebane, Paul Soliai. So there's a couple different guys, and they're later in the draft, so we could think about maybe using one of our later picks on them. We don't have a 5th round pick, so that's going to be a little bit tricky. But there are some decent D tackles here just to fill out our roster. I think the most important thing is we need to use this draft and maybe next year's draft just to fill out like depth. We have 46 players on the roster right now, so we just need to acquire players. Like, we just need to acquire bodies, basically, because we just don't have a lot. Left outside linebacker Lawrence Timmons is one of the best. Then you got Paul Posluszny, who I love, one of my favorite players of all time. Other than that, nothing really that notable. Middle linebacker, Patrick Willis would be amazing to have. So I'm thinking that the guaranteed 2 guys that we need to go for are Calvin Johnson and Patrick Willis. Are we going to get both of those guys? Probably not. The odds are not in our favor. The odds are better that we get none of them, really. But the odds that I'm hoping for is we get one of the 2. Obviously, I want to get both of them, so we're going to try and get both of them. I don't know if it's going to happen. There's really not another middle linebacker that I'm interested in except for maybe Desmond Bishop, and I just threw that out there as again, just a guy to fill out a roster spot, a body. And he was the best one out of the rest of these middle linebackers. Right outside linebacker, you got John Beeson, who's very solid. David Harris is very solid. You got Stephen Nicholas. Not really a whole lot else at right outside linebacker. Then you go to corner, and you get Darrelle Revis. So this class has 3 guys that I'm interested in. 3 guys that I'm interested in. And we need corner. I mean, it's one of our positions that I would certainly be on the lookout for. And Darrelle Revis, one of the best of all time. There's a reason it's called Revis Island. Then you got Leon Hall, who's also very solid. Aaron Ross, Chris Houston, Josh Wilson. Nobody else really down here. I mean, there's a couple guys. William Gay's decent. Terrell Brown had a decent career. There's a Tremaine McBride. It's not great, but there are some decent names. Free safety, you got LaRon Landry, Reggie Nelson, Brandon Merriweather, Osama Young, Deshaun Goldson. Free safety's got names that you might recognize. Reggie Nelson would be the best one that I'd go for because I don't think we'd be able to go for LaRon Landry. It's just, I don't think it's feasible that we could get Calvin Johnson, Patrick Willis, and Darrelle Revis plus LaRon Landry. So we're going to have to try and tighten things up here. And then Eric Weddle is the last position guy. I don't think I have a kicker or a punter. I might, I don't remember. But Eric Weddle's also an option for us to be a backup to Sean Taylor. Yeah, because Sean Taylor's playing strong safety. Brian Dawkins is playing free safety. Then it's really just Eric Weddle at strong safety. Kickers, Mason Crosby, Nick Folk, but that's it. And then punter is Brandon Fields, and that's the draft class. So there are some very intriguing prospects that I am very, very interested in. 3 to 4 guys that I'm certainly very, very intrigued to try and get. Obviously, Calvin Johnson, Patrick Willis at the top of that, then probably Darrelle Revis, then Eric Weddle. But with all of that out of the way, it's finally time to take on the Minnesota Vikings. We're going to obviously do the play the moments like we always do, and we will hopefully start the season out 1-0 and hopefully get on our way to our 7 victories that I have the goal for. So if you guys are excited for another episode, another season of Madden Retro Rebuild, I hope you guys are. If you are, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Let's take on the Vikings.
Today, from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, it's Week 1 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Minnesota Vikings.
We are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. We thought the old place was loud. Somehow this place got even louder a short time ago as the Falcons were introduced to this sellout crowd. We're set to go as the Falcons get ready to match up with the Minnesota Vikings. With my good friend gone in Charles. Week 1 of the season as we drop you into the first.
Here we go, everybody. We jump in first play of the game. Michael Vick taking snaps and throwing a very inaccurate pass. Obviously, we know that this Minnesota Vikings team has a certain Randy Moss at the wide receiver position, so that is intriguing. I would love to have a guy like Randy Moss on the team for us, and that's going to be Michael Vick. See, that's one of the reasons why I love playing with Michael Vick, because he can just get 16 yards at the drop of a hat, and he's just so quick, and Rodgers isn't like that, so that's something that we are going to lose when we get rid of Michael Vick this season, or after the season, I should say. One of the things that I thought might be a possibility is to trade Michael Vick to the Minnesota Vikings for Randy Moss and a first-round pick. Now, I don't think that would go over very well because I think they value Randy Moss very highly, and obviously they value a first-round pick very highly. But it's just one of the thoughts that I had that maybe would be in a possible option for us. I'm not saying it's the guaranteed thing that we're going to do. Luckily, nobody's fast enough to keep up with Michael Vick, so I'm just going to get out of there and get to the 19-yard line. I love playing with Michael Vick, man. He's just so fast. It's so easy. It's just so easy to go into a game knowing that you have a quarterback that is just so fast. Now, I probably should have kept that with TJ Duckett there. That's probably on me. But just knowing that you can get out of situations because you have a quarterback that is fast enough. And that's... No, I hit the wrong button. I felt like I was accidentally playing PlayStation there, and I hit A thinking it was in the X spot, but it was not. I'm going to throw that one, and I probably should have not thrown that one. 4th and 1. I didn't realize we were at 4th and 1 now. This is probably going to be a Michael Vick scramble situation. It was going to be a Michael Vick scramble situation, but I got caught up, so that's on me. I made the wrong decision there. And we lose out on points. Are the Vikings going to score? No, it keeps going back and forth here. We'll skip this red zone alert. Okay, we'll jump in on a 3rd down. A 3rd down and 4. Dante Culpepper probably threw an interception there. All right, now it's a scramble situation. Can Mike Vick... Oh, I was going to say can Mike Vick score, but he was closing down too much. So we get the 1st down, which is awesome. That's always what you want to have happen. And we scored the touchdown off of it, so that's good. We'll skip around here, see if we can get later into the game a little bit. We'll let the CPU do some stuff. 2-minute drill. If we get closer, I'll probably jump in. Okay, here we go. We got 54 seconds left. Clock is going down. We do have a turnover, which is interesting. I wonder who threw that. Wes Welker! Interception. Good play. But Michael Vick's here. Oh, I'm the worst user tackler ever. That's a pick 6. That's a pick 6 to tie the game. There's Sean Alexander trying to catch up with the player, but he can't do it. That's a pick 6 because I missed with Michael Vick. Whoops. That's all I can say on that one. That is a big old yikes that I did that. Big 3rd down. It doesn't seem like Minnesota is that good on offense. They do score there, and they get a field goal. So let's keep this drive alive. We should not be losing this game, but I kind of sold there with that interception. That's my fault. I thought Welker would get open and stay open, but he came closing in. Let's throw this here. That's Malcolm Floyd. He cuts up the field. Malcolm Floyd gets a nice carry up to the... or a nice reception, I shouldn't say. Up to the 6-yard line. Is this a time for a read option? This might be a time for a read option. We need to get on the board again. There's the snap. There's the hold. There's the player that... Ooh, Mike Vick almost dragged that man into the end zone. That would have been wild. That would have been absolutely crazy if he would have done that. Now, this is probably going to be a Welker slant. Oh, it's not a Welker slant. It is a Mike Vick rushing touchdown. If I can get in the end zone, there it is. I found my way into the end zone, and Michael Vick... Ooh, he does activate his X Factor, too. In the nick of time. We need that. Truz is now activated, and we have an opportunity to take the lead in this game. We should never have lost the lead in this game, but you know how things go. I might have to take off and run here. See, just having that ability to take off and run in any situation is like so invaluable that it's crazy. Yeah, we definitely got to take control and try and win this game. In the 4th quarter, 2.5 minutes to go. Where do we go here? Oh, Mike Vick broke the tackle. I got to dump it away. Oh, it's incomplete. Okay. I didn't really have an option there. Nobody was going to get open, so I just had to try and throw it to somebody. Luckily, it was just incomplete. It wasn't a fumble or anything. Throw that quickly. That's Malcolm Floyd. He's had 2 big catches today. Malcolm Floyd trying to muscle his way to... another extra yard. That's going to take us to the 2-minute warning, though. So we got 2 minutes. I think all 3 of our timeouts as well. And a 3-point deficit. But we are right on the edge of glory here. Antonio Gates, Witten, and Welker are the options. But it might also be an option for a scramble if Welker doesn't get open here. Wes Welker! Out of bounds. Okay. I tried it. That was probably a little bit too risky of a throw. Welker was very close to the out of bounds line and he couldn't stop his momentum. Oh, hello. That man was very, very fast. Okay, this has gone from bad to worse here. 3rd and goal from the 7. We're in field goal range, so at worst we'll take the tie. But I don't want a tie. I want the lead because I got Michael Vick. And when I got Michael Vick, anything is possible. 40th career rushing touchdown for Michael Vick. And we take our lead back. That's one of the reasons why I was thinking about signing Michael Vick in the first place to a contract. Uh-oh. But we didn't stop him very much on defense there, and we are back down by 3 with a minute to go. Still all 3 of our timeouts, so that's good. But we know Michael Vick doesn't have the greatest arm in the world. He does have the greatest legs in the world, so we got to keep going. Keep this going. I don't want to kick a field goal to tie this game. I want to try and win this game. It's 2nd and inches. It's... Got to throw that. That's a risky throw. Very risky throw. Should not have done that. But I didn't have another option there. Did not, at least I felt I didn't have another option. Well, hot route Jason Witten. And I got to throw it to Jason. I got hit on the throw. That's an interception. We're going to lose the game because it's another pick 6. I got hit on the throw. That's depressing. That is depressing. And he's waving to the fans goodbye. That's a sucky way to lose right there, ladies and gentlemen. I got hit on the throw. There's nothing else I can do about it. That is horrible. Stats on the day for the boys. Mike Vick, 25 of 54, 329 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. That's far too many passing attempts and yards for Michael Vick. Rushing stats, 11 carries, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns for Vick. 8 carries, 29 yards. We need a running back. We certainly do. Then you got receiving, Wes Welker, 7 carries, 93 yards, touchdown. That's about it for everybody else. Malcolm Floyd has some big catches, but nothing really impactful. And then we get to tackles. Brian Dawkins, Randall Gay, and Keith Brooking all had 6. We didn't sack Dante Culpepper at all, but we did pick him off once with Brian Urlacher. So we lose 31-21. And you got to think that it's my fault because I threw 2 pick 6s in this game. Now, the first one was clearly my fault. The second one was just I got hit on the throw and it was inaccurate, so I couldn't really do much on that. But the first one was certainly my fault. But we start the season 0-1. That's not looking good to get our 7 wins, that's for sure. Okay, we start here week 2. We didn't have a great start to the season in week 1, losing to the Vikings. Hopefully we can get a W against the New England Patriots, who are 1-0 on the season. Remember, they don't have Tom Brady in this because Brady left in free agency a couple of seasons ago and went to Carolina, I think. But we do get our first win of the season, beating the Patriots 22-16. That's awesome. Okay, so as of right now, the 3rd pick in the draft is Calvin Johnson. We have the 5th pick. So whoever was originally number 2 now has won a game, so they're number 5. That's Darrelle Revis, so that's good. The other picks that we have, there's Marshawn Lynch, there's Patrick Willis. We have pick 15, 23, 30, and 31. So that's not very good in terms of trying to get these guys on the roster, but week 3 against the Buffalo Bills, can we take a W against them? They're 0-2, it said, so maybe that'll be a nice victory. 25-20, and that's 2-1 for the boys. Going up against 0-3 Tampa. They have fallen off this year in week 4. Can we make them still winless on the year? I sure hope so. And we do, 31-10, but we're going up against the 4-0 Tennessee Titans. All right, this could be a nice little playoff run that we were talking about here. We got off to a bad start, but think about it. We'd be undefeated right now if we would have won that game against the Vikings. And we beat the Titans 10-3. Are we legit Super Bowl contenders this year? I don't know about that, but we might be legit Super Bowl contenders. I'll jump into this because it's intriguing, this locker room chemistry thing. I don't usually jump into these different things, but maybe this will give us some nice little like improvements or bonuses or something. Oh, it's so Wes Welker could get a dev upgrade if we get him whatever he needs to get in this. So that's cool. But we're going up against rival New Orleans, 3-2 on the year for them. If we beat them, we're on a good spot to win this division, and we do. 5-1 on the year, 23-17, and it looks like we might have just gotten that Wes Welker thing because there's a prospects or a dev trait spotlight there, so we could possibly get in a story for Wes Welker. Maybe that'd be superstar, right? Because he remains with normal. Okay, I thought that he had star, but I guess I was wrong. What's the breakout player? That's one of the running routes. Keep throwing the ball, improve it the best. It's Malcolm Floyd. So Malcolm Floyd has a shot to go up to superstar. That would be awesome. I would love to see Malcolm Floyd go up to superstar. We're playing the Rams in week 7. There's also another mock draft that we got to take a look at because we got to find out where our picks are sitting at in the midway through the season. But I'm very curious about this breakout player. We lost the game against the Rams. Did Malcolm Floyd get it? No, he didn't get it done today. Okay, so that's hard. It's hard to get 3 touchdowns or whatever, 150 yards or whatever it is. That's interesting that he didn't get that. But the mock draft. So now all of our draft picks are winning. We now sit with, we now sit with 14, 16, 18, 26, 29. Wow, okay, so our draft picks, all of the teams that we took these draft picks for are winning games, which is not good. We need to try and trade for the Jets pick or the Texans pick or something, because it's not looking good to get any of the guys now. All of our picks are winning. 2-5 Tampa. And remember, there's a fun fact about this division in this franchise. All of the teams except for us, the Super Bowl every Super Bowl that we've done in this franchise has included one of the 3 teams in the NFC South besides us. So that's a little fun fact. But we're on a 2-game losing streak going up against the 0-7 New York Jets. They have the number 1 overall pick currently. Can we take a win? No, we cannot. We lose to the 0-7. We give the Jets their first win of the year, and now we go into the bye week. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're on a 3-game losing streak. I have no idea what to think about this. Going up against the 7-2 Dolphins, I don't think we're gonna be winning this game. I want to focus on Calvin Johnson. I want to focus on Patrick Willis and Darrelle Revis are the 3 guys that I want to focus on. I want to focus on like Adrian Peterson too, but we're probably not going to be able to do that. 7-2 Miami. Are we going to win this game? I don't even know. Is it possible? It might be possible. We'll find out, I guess. And we lost. So we are on a 4-game losing streak. That is not what I wanted to hear. At all. We've got a lot of staff points. But this team is on a 4-game losing streak. Andrew Whitworth has X Factor. So does Jahari Evans. So we drafted 2 X Factor linemen. Nick Mangold has Superstar. Who else needed hidden development? So Mario Williams had Superstar. We don't know about Johnny Jolly yet, and Tramon Williams we don't know about because he hasn't played enough. But I'm happy with the draft pick so far. We just need to play better. We just need to play better. That's all it is. But let's spend some staff points if we can. I'm not sure what we need to buy. Let's buy this one. All the XP gains for quarterbacks. Certainly need that one. And then let's go over here. We still got some offensive ones to buy. We still got some defensive ones to buy, and we certainly have some defensive or some player personnel ones. Let's do the hometown discount one, and then let's go to the offense and start spending some points on these guys. Then we'll go to defense, and we'll spend some points on them. Do that. 21 points. Do that. 13 points. We can do this one as well. And that's all the staff points we can buy. Okay, so we added some staff points to the offense and defense, and we got the most important one, which is the hometown discount one. Hopefully that'll help us re-sign some players this year if we need to. I don't know if anybody even needs to be re-signed. And we lose again. We're on a 5-game losing streak. What is going on with this team? We are so close to 7 wins, and yet we just can't get another W. We're out of the playoffs now. We were the number 1 team probably in the entire NFC for a couple weeks. And then we've just absolutely taken a huge tumble. I don't know what is going on. It's crazy what's happened. We lost again to the Seahawks. What is happening? We just cannot buy a victory. I don't know what we are doing, but it is not working. We've got the football team, the Saints, and the Panthers. So the Panthers are 5-7, Saints are 4-8, and the football team is on a bye this week. So we don't know what they are. Buffalo's 1-11. I'm not sure why we're losing so many games. It looks like Buffalo's going to have the number 1 pick unless Washington is worse than them. I don't know if they will be. Can we beat Arizona? Maybe. Finally, we get off the losing streak and we beat Arizona. It's about time. They're 7-6. Should we play a game against a rival like Carolina? We haven't played against the football team, so that might be interesting to play against and then simulate the rest of the weeks in the next episode. That could be pretty good. Houston's also 3-10. What a change in mood for this episode. We are 1 win away from getting our goal of 7 wins, but we went on a 6-game losing streak. That's pretty crazy. I didn't think this team was capable. I mean, to be fair, it's reasonable considering what our roster looks like, but the fact that we won like 5 games in a row, 6 games in a row, and then all of a sudden you just go on this huge losing streak. That's, I mean, we set these huge expectations and then we just completely fell off a cliff for about 2 months. That's crazy. But that is going to do it for the end of for this episode. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Let me know down below in the comments if you think it's possible to get any of those rookies. Calvin Johnson, Patrick Willis, Darrelle Revis. I hope it is. Our draft picks currently sit at pick 9, pick 14, pick 18, pick 22, and pick 24. We're certainly going to trade up. There's no way that these picks are going to get us any of the 3 guys or even Adrian Peterson or anything like that. So these picks are all garbage. We're going to have to trade up to the top 5 at least to get, probably we're going to have to trade up to the top 5 to get at least 2 of the guys, because it's going to be pretty crazy to try and get either one. So we are going to have to overhaul this roster in the offseason, but that's in a couple episodes from now. The next episode will be the finishing the regular season. We'll probably jump in and play the football team. Maybe we'll even jump in and play another game if it's like make or break for the playoffs or something, because this division's kind of crappy right now, as you can see by the leader in the division is tied 6-7. So it's kind of a crappy division this year, but I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.